Is delve leveling really a viable option in 11.1? My friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to find out with this fresh Gyro Void Priest, who is already level 76, my friends, mostly with time walking dungeons, because that is still by far the best way to level. But on the weeks when there is no time walking, what are you supposed to do? And are delves better than dungeons, normal dungeons? Well, let's find out in real time and render a quick verdict without wasting any of your time. So first of all, let's get the math straight. There are 12 delves and each one of them has a quest inside during your leveling process up to level 80 that will give you about between 80-ish, like 79 I think it starts at level 70, up to about 85, 84 right now at this stage, 1000 experience points per delve completion. There is also a little bit of a boost, kind of maybe within 10,000 XP or so, maybe a little bit more at the end of the delve just for defeating the boss, plus that quest. So you get a healthy chunk of XP. But again, during the time walking weeks, I just do not see why you would make it exclusively your way of leveling. Why would you try to make it work when time walking dungeons are just a breeze? They finish very quickly and they give you a very, very healthy, almost too generous, but I'm not complaining, bunch of experience, over 100,000, well over 100,000. And those dungeons, they honestly, people who are running them, there is typically at least 1 or 2 level 80s. They blitz through those dungeons like they are nothing. Dungeon is under 5 minutes, so you would have a lot of more experience and you will be leveling a lot faster like I'm leveling here. I literally didn't notice how I became 76 in this case just by doing time walking dungeons. But once again, on non-time walking weeks, I do think that augmenting your, say, dungeon leveling, random dungeons, they give you about 30% less than a time walking dungeon. Exclusively random dungeon leveling, I don't think it is worth it. And I think it's very, very boring as well. Time walking is just too fast to be bored of. So during a normal week without time walking, I'd say alternating between the delves and the normal dungeons would be the way to go, with a heavier weighting, like heavier doing more of, in other words, of delves. That's what I would personally say. But let's just let me get into the delve and show to you what happens there. We just pick tier 1 delve. We don't care about tier 3 because it doesn't give us more experience. Here we only care about experience and finishing it as quickly as we can. So we get in there. What you need to do is this, my friend. You, of course, will start this quest, and whatever they want you to do in this particular delve, don't forget to sit by the campfire of Bran, because campfire gives you a little bit of a stat boost for 10 minutes, and you will be done certainly well within that time. See, 10 minutes of intellect increased, your primary stat gets increased by 5%. Look, it's nothing to sneeze at, especially at higher level delves. At this lower level, it doesn't matter, but you might as well do it. Here's what I recommend to make it really a breeze. Well, first of all, I know that I said that Bran is a dumb tank, and that was my initial impression. I stand by it, especially when Bran is not leveled and you are not a healer. But when you are going as a healer, he apparently did wonders before. They nerfed him, but now they unnerfed him a little bit. So he is actually viable. Yes, I'm saying it to you. He is viable. So I pick him as a tank. From the combat curious, I prefer to run with Mechasaur easy build kit because the egg is not always available and Mechasaurs, in all fairness, are not always there. And these easy delves are probably finished faster than you might even see an egg. Well, you probably will see one. But when it pops, my god, those things pump. Those things pump and they eat through anything elite like no tomorrow, right? For utility curio, kind of just choose whatever you want, but I'm choosing 3-dimensional bioprinter because it is, if you're damaging an elite creature that is sort of starting to die but still is relatively healthy, you can summon the copies of that elite creature, and it's really, really, really powerful. So that's what I recommend personally. So pick Bran as a tank. If you're playing a class that can tank, you can go with Bran as a healer or as a DPS. In easy delves like this, don't worry about him healing, just go full DPS Bran. In higher level delves, like tier 8 and up, I do recommend that if you're a tank, if you insist on playing a tank yourself, make sure that he heals you. That's better, in my humble opinion. But overall, I would still say that both for dungeon queuing and for delving, Bran tank and you as a healer is the way to go. Okay? So in this case, let's just see how quickly we finish Earth Scroll Mines and get that healthy amount of experience from that quest. I'm going to start the timer right now, record a tiny bit of action going ahead, and then we're going to recap. How about that? You can see that I'm about to start this timer over here. So let me start it and let's go. Alright, so here we are, here we finished the delve, and of course I was not even set up for damage. Normally if I'm doing the delving, my Holy Fire, my Smite would have been here under 1 and 2 mappings. You see it right there on the screen. We're doing it live, my friends. So I have finished it in a little bit over 6 minutes. You can see it here. I had to retrace my steps as well because I'm an idiot and I missed one of the lamplighters who I needed to free. So let's just round it up and say that we could have done this run in about 6 minutes. I also understand that all delves are different and some of them would be a slightly longer delve, slightly net. Well, okay, let's say that on average it would take us probably, I'm still gonna stick to about 6.5 minutes. Let's not be too pedantic here. So this is as far as your performance for how much XP you're getting per those 6.5. Okay, I'm even gonna give you 7 minutes. 7 minutes. You're also gaining some experience while killing the creatures there. You saw that I dinged inside of the delve. So I personally think that it's quick enough, it's solo friendly, it also is great in case your simple preference is to play by yourself and you don't want to deal with the social environment even as automated as the automatic queuing of the dungeons. So that also is a big benefit. I would say it's a big benefit. So in other words, do I think that delve leveling is viable? I do think it's viable. Once again, we just gained a massive chunk of XP. But again, I do not think, my friends, that exclusively 12 delves, even with this healthy chunk of experience given to you, is enough to level exclusively through, in the WoW Within. I don't think so. I don't think that is doable, even with the extra 25% buff of the warband mentored leveling buff. So 25% experience, and even then 12 delves would not be enough with this kind of stuff. So I still think that you are either going to be leveling delves and dungeons if you don't want questing, obviously, or you're going to wait, like I said to you, every 2 weeks for time walking dungeons, and that's probably the best, without a doubt, now proven best way to level in the WoW Within. I hope this was somewhat helpful, so I kind of tested it so that you don't have to. I suppose it was pleasant enough, and I'm leveling this out anyway, so we both benefited in the process. Give me a quick like if I deserve it, and stick around for more World of Warcraft content, especially as patch 11.1.5 and Horrific Visions are about to roll in. Oh my god, we're gonna do so much there. See you later. Talk to you next week about something else World of Warcraft related.